we are talking about gun safety, which is very important in America. You want to know why? Because a lot of Americans have a lot of guns. How many guns does America have, you know? I don't know, it's like 40 million guns in America, something like that. I don't know, it's crazy, right? There's a lot of guns in America. 40 million. There's a lot of guns in America, okay? On average, every year, there's only really about 500 people that accidentally shoot and kill themselves. But a lot of those are kids. What happens is you go over to your friend's house, and he says, hey man, I want to show you my dad's gun. And you should be like, no, I don't want to see your dad's gun. Yes, let me show you your dad's gun. You need to go talk to the dad and talk to an adult and say what's going on. Or if you ever find a gun, you need to know what to do. So this is going to be happening. You live in America, you're going to come across a situation where you're going to come across a gun. So even if you ever own a gun or don't own a gun, you need to have some kind of gun safety. So there are 4 rules when it comes to gun safety. You guys might know some of these. This is going to be a review for some of you guys. Rule number 1. You guys remember?
Treat every firearm as if it's loaded.
That's right. Every gun. All guns are loaded. You just need to have that in your mind. At all times, the guns are loaded. You see a gun on the ground? Oh my gosh, there's a gun. It's loaded. Well, is it loaded? Don't pick it up and squeeze the trigger to find out if it's loaded. You just know it's loaded. Okay? Rule number 2. What's rule number 2?
Athlete keep muzzle in safe direction.
Okay, what's the muzzle?
The muzzle is the barrel of the shotgun.
That's correct. It's the barrel of the gun, right? So I don't point the barrel like this, do I?
No.
I don't point the gun like this if I'm looking at it, do I? Always point the muzzle away from something. It either points down, it points up, it never sweeps across. You have to pretend like there's a lightsaber attached to this thing. And if I went like this, it would cut you in half. The barrel never points at something unless you want to destroy it, okay? The barrel points down, the barrel points up like this, okay? That's rule number 2. What's rule number 3?
Be sure of your target.
Yep. Be sure of your target. You don't, until you point your gun, you want to be sure of your target, not just of your target, but also what's beyond your target. Because what happens if I'm in a situation where there's a bad guy standing right here, and I go to shoot the bad guy, and the bullet goes through the bad guy? It can kill the lady. Or what if I'm out here shooting at a deer, and I miss the deer, and it goes over past the deer, and it goes up, and it hits that house, it goes through the house, goes through the window, and kills the lady. You should never be shooting a gun if you can see a building anyways. But, do you understand what I'm saying? You only point your gun at your target, and you need to know your target and what's behind your target. What if you're shooting something, and there's a gas station behind the target?
Blow up.
Okay? You need to know. Number 4.
Keep your finger off the trigger with a winning shot.
Unless you're ready to shoot. This right here is the number 1 thing. Guys, you have to keep your finger off the trigger. The way you put your finger is when you're holding a gun is like this. You keep it up here on the barrel. You don't keep it over here. You don't keep it on the trigger like this. You keep it like this. Keep your finger off the trigger at all times. Anytime you're holding a gun, you have to have finger discipline. You don't pick up a gun and hand a gun to somebody with your finger on the trigger. You don't walk around like this with your finger on the trigger. If you trip and fall, boom, goes off. You always keep your finger off the trigger until you have your target. You see your target, you see what's behind your target, then you put your finger on the trigger when you're ready to shoot. Not until then. Understand? Okay. Rule number 1, treat every gun as it's loaded. Rule number 2, always keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Rule number 3, be sure to know your target and beyond. And rule number 4,
keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot.
Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Good job, guys. Go over more again. This is just the beginning of Gun 101. Good job. Pass over.